The words sliced through the marble lobby of the St. Regis Monarch Beach like a guillotine made of pure contempt. Get this beggar out of my hotel. My own father said it loud enough for the baccarat chandeliers to echo it back twice. I stood there in a charcoal Brioni Vanitas bespoke suit that had cost $9,000 before alterations, the same one he'd bragged about to his golf buddies at Riviera last month when he thought I was quietly renewing their membership for the 8th year in a row. The jacket was cut so sharp, it could have filed taxes. My shoes were hand-lasted in Northampton. The watch, a vintage Patek I'd bought at auction the night Harper announced her engagement. None of them recognized a single thing I was wearing, because in their minds, I still lived in the 2015 version of me, broke, desperate, and grateful for whatever scraps fell from their table. Security hesitated. 2X SEALs in $5,000 suits, unsure whose side protocol was on tonight. My mother stared at the Italian marble like it might open up and swallow her. Harper's lips curled into the same venomous little smile she'd perfected at 15 when she learned how to weaponize tears and Instagram filters in the same breath. My name is Isabella Monroe, 36, founder, CEO, and sole owner of Monroe Ventures, 9 figures liquid, another 12 in real assets. And tonight, I was the beggar in the family photo. They were celebrating Dad's retirement triumph. Black tie, oceanfront, 200 of Orange County and Beverly Hills' most self-congratulatory humans. String quartet flown in from Vienna, caviar towers taller than the flower arrangements, a wine wall that had cost $180,000 just to install, fireworks scheduled over the Pacific at 10:15 sharp. What none of them knew, what none of them had ever bothered to Google, was that every single cent of it was flowing straight from my accounts. The $400,000 venue deposit, paid by Pacific Crest Holdings, LLC, the $180,000 temperature-controlled wine wall, my Amex Centurion, the fleet of Gulfstreams and Challengers that had ferried cousins in from Aspen, Naples, and Telluride, my fractional NetJets contract, the ice sculpture of Dad's old Harvard crest that was currently sweating onto a $40,000 carpet, invoiced to Monroe Family Holdings, which is just me in a different font. Dad had been living off my silent generosity for 8 years, ever since his boutique consulting firm quietly imploded in a pile of offshore accounts and unpaid invoices. Rather than file bankruptcy and lose the house in Newport Coast, he'd come to me, hat in hand, voice cracking, and ask for a bridge loan. Just 18 months, he'd said, just until the advisory board gig came through. That was 2017. I never asked for the money back. I just kept paying. The mortgages, the country club dues, Harper's content creator sabbatical, villa in Santorini, 6 months, $128,000, oceanfront, infinity pool she never once credited. Mom's silent treatments were expensive. Dad's pride even more so. Tonight, I had walked in without the custom gown they'd expected, without the +1 they'd mocked me for never having, without the groveling smile they were used to seeing on my face at these circus events. So Dad did what he always did when he felt his narrative slipping. He weaponized shame. Security. Now. The taller guard took one step toward me, then stopped. Something in my face made him pause. Maybe it was the way I hadn't flinched. Maybe it was the faint smile that said I'd already won and he just hadn't caught up yet. I looked at the guard, nodded once, permission and dismissal in the same motion, and walked out on my own. The Pacific breeze hit my face as the matte black Maybach 62S pulled under the porte cochere, exactly on cue. My driver, Andre, didn't ask questions. He never does. By the time the car merged onto Pacific Coast Highway, doing a smooth 90, I had already opened the contingency file on my phone, labeled simply Family. Nuclear option, I pressed execute. $92,000 final venue balance reversed. $47,000 private jet charters canceled mid-flight. Yes. 3 of them were already in the air over Utah, Nevada, and New Mexico. $128,000 Santorini villa lease. Terminated, locks changed by local management at 9:04 a.m. Greek time. $1.4 million mortgage on the Cape Cod family compound, actually titled to Nauset Light Holdings LLC. Acceleration clause triggered. Full balance due in 30 days. I was halfway to Hawthorne Private Terminal when the first missile landed. Trent, Harper's crypto husband, who still owed me $400,000 from the 2021 NFT crash, left a voicemail so loud the Maybach speakers distorted. Izzy, what the fuck? They just locked us out of the villa. The pilots turned the jets around over the desert. Fix this right now, or I swear. I texted back one line. Check the tail numbers, genius. N885MV. That's me. Then I blocked him, Harper, Mom, Dad, and the cousin group chat in one swipe. By midnight, the private family Slack I still quietly adminned, because of course I paid for the enterprise plan, was melting down. My cousin Mia, the only decent one, screenshotted it for me in real time. Dad, she's bluffing. She always caves. Mom, she's just being dramatic. Remember when she cried because I borrowed her Porsche for a year? Harper, she's jealous because I'm actually happy and she's still alone with her spreadsheets and her cats. I posted one reply from the admin account before killing the entire workspace forever. Reminder, I own the Slack. I own the house. I own the narrative. Enjoy economy class. 7:03 a.m. The next morning, my phone rang with a 949 area code. The general manager of the St. Regis Monarch Beach, voice trembling like a leaf in a Santa Ana wind. Miss Monroe, I'm not sure how to say this. Your, family is refusing to vacate the premises. They insist the bill is settled. We just noticed the final payment was reversed. There's an outstanding balance of $614,000, and they've ordered another round of 1996 Dom Perignon at the pool. I laughed so hard, Andre had to pull over on PCH, just north of Crystal Cove. Call the Orange County Sheriff if you need to. The reservation is under Monroe Family Holdings LLC, which is me, and I'm no longer family. By noon, the videos were everywhere. Orange County's finest escorting my mother, still in last night's $38,000 Oscar de la Renta, across the lobby while she wailed about elder abuse. Harper live streaming through alligator tears to her 1.2 million followers, screaming about toxic siblings, while the camera accidentally panned to the for sale sign now on the Santorini villa listing. Someone had already translated it to English and overlaid it in Comic Sans. Monroe Meltdown trended for 9 straight days. 3 days later, Leonard, my parents' accountant of 30 years, called me directly. His voice was small. The way men sound when they realize the cliff they've been walking along was painted on. Izzy, the Cape Cod property. Your father has been declaring it as an inheritance from his late uncle for tax purposes since 2018. There is no uncle. The IRS is going to. Leonard, I said, sipping an oat milk latte on the balcony of my Malibu place. Send me every file you have. Then call the IRS tip line yourself. Save your license. I'm not in the business of ruining innocent bystanders. 2 weeks later, the courthouse steps in Newport Beach. Paparazzi 3 deep. Dad in a rented suit 2 sizes too big, the jacket sagging like his dignity. Mom clutching rosary beads and a Xanax prescription. Harper hiding behind sunglasses I'd bought her in Paris the Christmas before last. The judge, a woman who looked like she'd seen every flavor of rich people nonsense and was fresh out of patience, took one look at the 8-year paper trail I'd had overnighted in 12 bankers' boxes. Venmo request labeled, "Love you, sweetheart. Need a little help this month." Wire transfers marked family support. Amex statements with my name carefully redacted by their accountant. LLC filings showing every property, plane, and villa titled to entities I controlled 100%. She ruled in 90 seconds flat. All assets titled to Isabella Monroe or her wholly owned entities are confirmed as her sole and separate property. Defendants ordered to vacate 127 Nauset Light Lane within 14 days and repay $11.8 million plus statutory penalties. Case closed. Next, Harper lunged at me in the hallway, security tackling her before her claws reached my face. "You're dead to us," she screamed, mascara rivers down her cheeks. I leaned in until my lips were an inch from her ear. Funny, I was always the ghost paying your bills. Now I'm just the girl who stopped playing dead. 1 month later, I sold the Cape Cod compound to a lovely tech couple from San Francisco for $31.5 million cash above asking. They wanted it for their kids and 3 golden retrievers. I threw in the vintage Chris Craft boat for free. With the proceeds, I seeded the Monroe Rising Foundation, full-ride scholarships, seed funding, and housing for first-generation women starting businesses while the world tells them they don't belong. First cohort starts next fall. 25 women, all of them hungrier than I ever was. Harper's entire Santorini content archive, mysteriously gone from the internet. Her brand deals evaporated like morning fog. Last I checked, she was doing brand consulting out of a WeWork in Irvine. Mom and Dad now live in a perfectly nice 2-bedroom in Rancho Mirage that I did not pay for. They still won't say my name out loud. Every quarter, like clockwork, a manila envelope appears under my office door in Century City. No return address. Inside, a Polaroid of the 3 of them on some budget cruise or discount resort, forced smiles in front of a buffet. On the back, Harper's handwriting in purple gel pen, "This is your fault." I pin each one to the corkboard in my private office under a brass plaque I had made, "Receipts," because some people need daily reminders that the hand they bit wasn't just feeding them, it was holding the entire table. And the day I decided to flip it, I didn't just walk away. I burned the legs off and built a new one, my own, with no room for beggars.